So, we all knew this day was coming, didn't we? I mean, we really should have seen it coming. Gary Windass. The man who's been dodging the law for years like it's some kind of hobby. But now, it's finally happened. A life sentence. Just let that sink in for a second. The gavel dropped, the cell door slammed shut, and honestly, the cobbles are never going to be the same again. It's one of those moments where you just have to stop and ask yourself, was it just a matter of time? Or did Gary finally just lose his mind in that alleyway? Was this the moment the redemption of Gary officially died? Or is there a much darker secret hiding behind those prison bars? I've been looking through everything, the spoilers, the fan theories, the actual episodes, and there is so much to unpack here. It's not just a murder case. It's a complete psychological breakdown of a man who thought he was untouchable. Let's look at how we got here. Gary Windass has always been the ultimate survivor. He's that guy who lives in the gray areas. You know the type. One minute he's the good bloke helping out a neighbor, and the next he's a cold-blooded killer hiding a body in the woods. But the death of Theo Silverton? That was different. This wasn't about survival like it was with Rick Nailon. This felt like a man being pushed into a corner he couldn't climb out of. The situation is electric right now. We aren't just looking at a simple whodunit anymore. This is the story of a man who thought he could play God and finally got caught. Why did this happen now, though? If you think about it, the writers have been building this pressure cooker for years. Gary's history of accidental violence, from the factory roof collapse that killed Rana to the self-defense killing of Rick, it all created this blueprint for his own destruction. He didn't just walk into this murder charge. He sprinted into it the moment he picked up that mallet. He decided that Theo Silverton didn't deserve to breathe. It's a classic case of someone believing their own hype. Gary thought he was the street's protector, but in reality, he was just another villain waiting for his mask to slip. I want to know what you guys think. Why do you think Gary acted with such reckless abandon this time? In the past, he was so calculated. When he dealt with Rick, it was about staying alive. But with Theo, it felt personal. Theo was the man who put Todd Grimshaw through a living hell of abuse. Gary offered Theo work, he trusted him, and then he found out what a monster the guy really was. That betrayal must have triggered something deep. It triggered that explosive temper Gary has spent years trying to bury. This wasn't some professional hit. It was a visceral, emotional reaction from a man who is just tired. He's tired of being the bad guy, and he tried to do a good thing in the worst possible way. Do you think he's actually feeling a sense of relief now? Imagine the exhaustion of carrying the weight of multiple deaths while trying to play the happy husband to Maria. When he told Sarah he doesn't know how much more he can take, he wasn't just talking about the cops. He was talking about the rot inside him. He's grieving for the life he's lost, even as he justifies the crime that took it away. But here's the thing we need to talk about. The sentence itself. Is it a punishment for Theo's death? Or is it the universe finally balancing the scales for Rana and Rick? I've seen fans on Reddit arguing that the writers forgot Gary was a murderer, but this sentencing feels like a delayed payment for old debts. By putting him away for Theo, a man that, let's be honest, many of us wanted gone. The show creates this weird moral paradox. We want Gary to be punished for his crimes, right? But do we want him to go down for this specific one? It's kind of ironic when you think about it. In my opinion, Gary's actions were inexcusable, but they were entirely in character. You can't spend years resolving problems with a sledgehammer and then act surprised when the police find a mallet in your hand. I disagree with the fans who think he's some kind of hero. A hero doesn't delete CCTV or let others like Summer Spellman take the fall while they whisper in corners with their ex-girlfriend. Gary is a man who loves the idea of being a hero, but he lacks the moral fiber to face the consequences unless he's forced to. Psychologically, it's like Gary is driven by this deep-seated hero complex. He needs to be the one who saves the day because it's the only way he can justify his own existence. By taking out Theo, he convinces himself he's cleaning up the street. It's a classic defense mechanism. He's projecting his own villainy onto others so he can feel righteous when he strikes them down. His ego is so tied up in being the provider and the protector that he's totally blind to the fact that he's the primary source of his family's trauma. Let's look at the evidence web for a second. The walls didn't just close in, they collapsed. The evidence against Gary wasn't some smoking gun. It was a mountain of sloppy mistakes. He deleted CCTV footage from the day of the murder that showed him smashing Theo's van with a sledgehammer. Seriously, Gary? That's such a classic Windass move. Using blunt force to vent frustration, but leaving a digital trail that even a tech guy at the police station could recover. It shows a man who has become way too arrogant. And then there's that flashback. Seeing Gary on that scaffolding, looking down at Theo's broken body while holding a mallet, that's an image that stays with you. It's chilling. It places him right at the center of the crime. Adrenaline must have been pumping through him. A mix of, I finally did it, and oh no, what have I done? But the real kicker has to be Sally Metcalf's selfie. Can you believe that? A life sentence triggered by a background appearance in a selfie from a wedding. It's almost funny if it weren't so tragic. Gary, the master criminal, undone by a neighbor's vanity. It suggests that no matter how much you plan, you can't account for the mundane reality of other people's lives. Sally just wanted a nice photo of her outfit, and she ended up catching a killer. We also have to talk about the Sarah Platt conspiracy. Why are they always whispering in offices and hugging in the street? Maria is convinced it's an affair, and honestly, you can't blame her. It's a brilliant bit of misdirection by the writers. But we know the truth. Their bond isn't about romance anymore. It's about mutual destruction. They share a dark secret that goes back years. Sarah is the only one who truly understands the monster Gary can be because she's seen him at his worst. Psychologically, Gary clings to Sarah because she represents the version of him that he can't show Maria. With Maria, he has to play the reformed businessman. With Sarah, he can be the man with the sledgehammer. It's like he's addicted to his own dark past. When he tells Sarah he can't do it anymore, he's pleading for an exit that doesn't exist. He's trapped. What do you think about the theory that Sarah actually killed Theo in self-defense and Gary just covered it up? If that's true, then this life sentence is the ultimate act of chivalry. But is it chivalry, or is it just another way for Gary to keep control? If he goes to prison for her, he basically owns her forever. That's a pretty toxic way to love someone, isn't it? He'd rather be a martyr in a cell than a husband who has to admit he's a failure. And poor Maria. My heart really breaks for her, but I'm also so frustrated. She gave him a false alibi. She outright asked him if he was a murderer, and then she lied for him. Why? Because she's desperate for that pink flat life to be real. She's invested so much in Gary's redemption that admitting he's a killer would mean her whole life is a lie. She's in total cognitive dissonance. She sees the red flags, the deleted footage, the secret meetings, but she chooses to believe the affair theory because, in her world, an affair is easier to deal with than a murder charge. An affair makes him a bad husband. A murder makes him a monster. She's fighting for the lesser of two evils. Then there's Kit Green. He is the catalyst Gary never saw coming. Unlike some of the other cops, Kit has Gary in his crosshairs with a singular focus. Kit represents the law finally catching up to this street justice Gary has been practicing for 10 years. When Kit tells Gary to prove it, he's not just talking about the murder. He's challenging Gary's entire existence. Kit's presence adds so much tension because it's personal. He's Sarah's boyfriend. If he brings Gary down, he's removing a rival for Sarah's loyalty. It's a chess match where the pieces are made of secrets. Kit's discovery of that engagement ring suggests he wants a future, but that future is being built on the ruins of Gary's past. Do you think Kit might bend the rules to catch him? He might turn out to be just as bad as the man he's trying to catch. Wait a second, though. Before we just accept that Gary is gone forever, we have to look at the unexpected revelation that James Cartwright talked about. He said the killer won't be who you think it is. If Gary is sentenced to life, but he's not the killer, then we're looking at one of the biggest messes in soap history. Think about the other suspects. Todd Grimshaw has that icy glare and a clear motive. Summer Spellman had those revenge fantasies in her journal. Even George Shuttleworth is in the frame. Is Gary just the perfect fall guy? His history makes the lies so believable. It's the boy who cried wolf scenario. He's lied so many times that when he's actually innocent, nobody believes him. Not even us. And have you heard the cancer twist theory? Some fans think Gary isn't acting weird because of the murder, but because he's actually dying. They think he's confiding in Sarah because he doesn't want to worry Maria. If that's true, it would be a huge emotional manipulation by the writers. Imagine Gary being sentenced to life in prison, only to find out he only has months to live. It turns a tough guy ending into something much more tragic. Psychologically, it would explain why he's acting like he has nothing to lose. If he knows his time is up, why not take the fall for Sarah? It gives his life a sense of final purpose. It's a sacrifice. Things are about to get so much worse, though. With Gary in prison, there's going to be a massive vacuum on the street. Maria is left alone with Liam and Jake, haunted by the fact that she helped a killer. The conflict between Maria and Sarah is going to reach a boiling point. Once the trial is over, the blame game really begins. I'm predicting that the real truth about Theo's death will only come out after Gary has been in prison for a while. We're going to see a Free Gary Windass campaign that totally divides the street. Some people will say he belongs there anyway because of his past, and others will be horrified that the system failed. It won't be about whether Gary is a bad man, we already know he is. It'll be about whether the law actually works. A life sentence on Corey is rarely a forever thing, but for Gary, this feels like a major turning point. If he's gone for 14 years or more, the show loses its most reliable source of conflict. The writers are taking a huge gamble here. By removing Gary, they're forcing characters like Todd and Kit to step up into that dark protagonist role. It's a changing of the guard. Gary's legacy is always going to be one of blood and builders' yards. He'll be remembered as the man who tried to be a hero, but just couldn't stop himself from being a villain. His sentencing isn't just a plot point. It's a commentary on redemption. Can you ever really be redeemed if you keep adding bodies to your basement? The Weatherfield Crown Court says, "Node, let's look at some future predictions." I think Sarah is eventually going to break. The guilt of Gary being in prison for a crime she might have had a hand in will be too much. It'll destroy her relationship with Kit and leave her totally isolated. And Gary? I bet he'll run into someone from his past in prison. Maybe someone related to Rick Nalon. That would lead to a prison break or some kind of internal justice story that keeps him on our screens. And don't forget about Liam. He's going to have to deal with the killer label for his dad. That's a whole new generation of Windass trauma, right there. I've been thinking about the trial history on this street, and it is wild. Did you know that back in 1960, Florrie Lindley was found guilty just for selling goods after hours? She got a £1 fine. Compare that to Gary. We've seen Deirdre Barlow go down for a crime she didn't commit. We saw Fizz Stape sentenced to life for murders her husband did. This street has a long history of getting it wrong. Is Gary just the latest name on that list? Even if he's guilty of this one, the way they caught him feels so random. It was a selfie at a wedding. It just goes to show that you can try to cover your tracks all you want, but life has a way of tripping you up in the most ordinary ways. Think about Todd confronting Gary in prison. That scene is going to be intense. Two men who were both broken by Theo, sitting on opposite sides of the glass. Todd was the victim, and Gary was the savior, who went too far. That confrontation is going to be like a mirror for both of them. Todd will have to ask himself if he's actually glad Theo is dead, even if it cost Gary his freedom. And Gary will have to look at Todd and wonder if it was all worth it. Was it worth losing his wife, his kids, and his life? And what about Tyrone? He's got his own secret about the accident at the garage with Carl Webster. He's feeling trapped because he knows Summer is sitting in a cell while he's keeping quiet. It's like the whole street is just built on these layers of lies. Everyone is protecting someone else, and in the end, nobody is really safe. Carl is taunting Tyrone, telling him he always finds out the truth. It's only a matter of time before that blows up too. Now, I really want to hear from you. This whole thing has been so divisive. I've been reading the comments, and everyone has a different theory. So, let's settle it here. Do you think Gary actually killed Theo? Or is he just taking the fall for someone else? I mean, could it be Sarah? Or maybe even Summer? And here's the big one. Does Gary actually deserve a life sentence for everything he's done in the past, even if he didn't do this specific murder? Is it just karma catching up with him? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm reading every single one of them. Are you Team Gary or Team Justice? This debate is just getting started. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fall of Gary Windass, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with all the drama on the cobbles, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering every single beat of this Theo Silverton murder case as it unfolds. I don't want you to miss a single update, so hit that notification bell too. There's so much more to come, especially with the rumors of Gary's health and whatever Kit Green is hiding on that USB stick. What do you think is on that stick, anyway? Is it the original CCTV footage? Or something even worse? The mystery is just getting deeper. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one where we'll be looking at the total aftermath of the verdict. It's going to be a bumpy ride for Maria and the rest of the Windass family, and I'll be here to break it all down for you. See you then. Now, I really want to hear from you. This whole thing has been so divisive. I've been reading the comments, and everyone has a different theory. So, let's settle it here. Do you think Gary actually killed Theo? Or is he just taking the fall for someone else? I mean, could it be Sarah? Or maybe even Summer? And here's the big one. Does Gary actually deserve a life sentence for everything he's done in the past, even if he didn't do this specific murder? Is it just karma catching up with him? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm reading every single one of them. Are you Team Gary or Team Justice? This debate is just getting started. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fall of Gary Windass, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with all the drama on the cobbles, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering every single beat of this Theo Silverton murder case as it unfolds. I don't want you to miss a single update, so hit that notification bell too. There's so much more to come, especially with the rumors of Gary's health and whatever Kit Green is hiding on that USB stick. What do you think is on that stick, anyway? Is it the original CCTV footage? Or something even worse? The mystery is just getting deeper. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one where we'll be looking at the total aftermath of the verdict. It's going to be a bumpy ride for Maria and the rest of the Windass family, and I'll be here to break it all down for you. See you then. Now, I really want to hear from you. This whole thing has been so divisive. I've been reading the comments, and everyone has a different theory. So, let's settle it here. Do you think Gary actually killed Theo? Or is he just taking the fall for someone else? I mean, could it be Sarah? Or maybe even Summer? And here's the big one. Does Gary actually deserve a life sentence for everything he's done in the past, even if he didn't do this specific murder? Is it just karma catching up with him? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm reading every single one of them. Are you Team Gary or Team Justice? This debate is just getting started. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the fall of Gary Windass, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with all the drama on the cobbles, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering every single beat of this Theo Silverton murder case as it unfolds. I don't want you to miss a single update, so hit that notification bell too. There's so much more to come, especially with the rumors of Gary's health and whatever Kit Green is hiding on that USB stick. What do you think is on that stick, anyway? Is it the original CCTV footage? Or something even worse? The mystery is just getting deeper. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one where we'll be looking at the total aftermath of the verdict. It's going to be a bumpy ride for Maria and the rest of the Windass family, and I'll be here to break it all down for you. See you then.